anyway, Hugh Hewitt said it, and I want to kind of echo it, and I think you will too. It's hard to surprise us. It's hard to shock us, and maybe you're not. I don't know. And I'm really not, because there is no bottom to how low these people will go. And I'm kind of involved in this thing about, is it time to start saying these are bad people, which I don't want to do. Good people and folks can be just misguided. But what are we to conclude, Mike, when the leaders of our nation betray Israel in an international betrayal that's bad enough, but it makes the world more dangerous? It's just unfathomable. Help me.
Well, first of all, when Lindsey Graham is good, he's really good.
You got that right.
I want to play the entire exchange that you played with Lloyd Austin on my show as well, so people can hear what a complete nincompoop Lloyd Austin is. Yeah. But he's between a rock and a hard place. I guarantee you, even Lloyd Austin probably wants to say, you know what, Senator Graham, you are completely right. We should be giving Israel what it needs to win this war, because you can't, on the one hand, condemn Hamas as a brutal terrorist organization that must be defeated, and then say, well, now we're going to withhold ammunition from the mission in Rafah. Look, when Democrats say what they believe them. Bernie Sanders told an interviewer yesterday, when asked, could Biden lose the election over the war in Gaza, Bernie Sanders said, I worry about that. It was Bernie Sanders who blocked in the Senate the effort to provide Israel what they say they need to defeat the terrorists in Rafah. Yeah. Bernie Sanders, in the same interview where he proudly proclaimed we're saving Palestinian people, said he worries about this war. This is all it's about. You said it earlier. It's only about appeasing the Bernie Sanders and the Rashida Tlaibs and the Ilhan Omars, and more importantly, the thousands and thousands of young people protesting Israel's efforts to win the war. Do you see the report in Axios? Now high schoolers are all on the act.
Of course they are, because all of these young people, these stupid, mush-brained young people are, and I keep drawing these comparisons to the hippies of the 60s. And obviously, nobody should be pro-communist in the 60s, and nobody should spit on soldiers. But I think the majority of anti-Vietnam feeling was, hey, I don't want to go die in a war halfway around the world, and I just don't know how worked up I am about stopping communism in Southeast Asia. They knew what was going on, and they made a judgment you could even agree or disagree with. Today's protester, they don't know what's going on. They don't understand history. They don't even know what a Palestinian is. They think there was a country called Palestine. There never was. Yep. And they're getting all their news off of TikTok. They don't have a brain in their heads, and that's why we have the dumbest, stupidest, most malleable, and gullible generation of young people in the history of the country.
Versha Sharma, the editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue, where a lot of these kids are getting their information, tells Axios, this generation is really defined by a lot of these global protest movements because, as Axios points out, youth activism, as they call it, played a role in shaping the 2020 racial justice movement, as well as #NeverAgain after the Parkland, Florida school shooting. High schoolers have held sit-downs and walkouts now in areas including, and see if there's any conservative cities on this list.
Yeah, go.
Chicago,
nope.
Salem, Oregon,
nope.
Austin, Texas, and all through Washington State. 14, 15, 16-year-old kids are walking out of school. And here's the problem. None of the principals or administrators will have the guts to suspend or expel these kids.
Absolutely.
They're going to say, "Oh, it's youth activism. This is really
it's their First Amendment."
Yes. They're just truth to power and all this crap.
Do we count? And it's total boomer old guy shaking our fist at the cloud. I know at this point, but I really do mean it. Are these folks going to get a clue in the next 30 years? You're about to come to town as your wonderful son.
Yep.
Gets a degree from UTA, and that's so great.
Master's degree.
And
so proud of him.
And listen, you and I hope, have 20, 30 years left on the planet. He's got 40 or 50. You know, is everybody gonna wise up, or should we just be racked with fear that these numbskulls and morons and idiots. And listen, I know they're fantastic. They're 19-year-olds right now signing up for the military.
Hey, Barron Trump's about to make his political debut.
Yep.
He's been chosen to serve as a Florida delegate to the Republican convention.
There's hope in there somewhere. There are rays of hope, but I don't even want to say the majority. But there are so many people from 16 through their mid-20s who are dumb as a mud fence. It's never been this bad, and these people are going to vote, and at some point they're going to be running the country?
Well, it's always been this bad. It's just that these young people have never been emboldened by administrators and college presidents. These kids have always been this way. Kids are kids. They're going to follow the pack. They're going to do what they want to do. But there's in 2024 there's zero accountability from the adults in the room.
There's always going to be youth stupidity, but the guardrails have.
The principals, the teachers, the members of Congress. They're letting them do what they want to do because there's zero accountability. Meanwhile, there's a really Newt Gingrich wrote an op-ed over at Fox News that I want to cite. And before I get to that in a little moment, let me just quickly say something about travel. A lot of our listeners travel a lot. Hey, here comes summer vacation. I want to share something about my upcoming trip today to DFW. After I get off the air today, I'm headed to Dallas. I'm so proud of Trevor. Even though he's in Minnesota, he got his master's degree through a program largely online from UT Arlington. And so he's going to graduate. He's going to walk across the stage. There ain't going to be any protests disrupting this graduation tomorrow.
There will not.
And Dad will be there front and center. Joey Hudson's going to guest host for me because the ceremony is during the day. So it's in the morning. It's the funniest thing. When you live in certain parts of the country, you use certain airlines. Let me vent for 30 seconds. I'm not mentioning, Mark, let me stipulate, I'm not mentioning any brands. Because I know
it's narrowed down to two.
Nope, but I'm not going to say it. But there's really three choices in America. We all know that. United, American, and Delta Airlines. Those are the big boys. Southwest, if you're in a market that's served by Southwest, but nationally, it's really those are the three biggies, right? Now, I'm not mentioning any names, but living in Florida, let's just say I use brand A lot.
Yes.
Today, I'm going to use brand B because I want to get a nonstop from Tampa into Dallas.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the reservation last night, and I realized, doggone it, my return flight Saturday is late in the day, too late. I got stuff to do in Tampa, right. So I'm gonna try to change the return flight to a little earlier flight.
Yep.
Mark, with brand B, that's like trying to arrange for a kidney transplant. I'm telling you what, right now, and I first of all, they wouldn't let me do it online, which is crazy. I have the app and everything, so I had to call. Good luck calling. That's 45-minute wait. Yep. Yeah. Now, again, this never happens with brand A. I don't know why. So brand B, finally, after 45 minutes this morning, I got through to a lady. She says, oh, this is going to be a problem. I said, a problem? Wow. All I want to do is, instead of the 4 o'clock flight Saturday, can you get me on the 1 o'clock flight? Well, this is a mileage award ticket. Now, changing that is like, I'm not kidding you, trying to perform a lobotomy with chopsticks. She said, you're going to have to cancel the whole ticket. You can't just change the return. And she said, now, you're in first class on your outbound. I said, well, duh, what am I, a pilgrim on the Mayflower? Of course.
Oh, wow.
So I said, she says, well, if you cancel it, to redo it, you're going to lose the flights all sold out in first class. The second we cancel it, you'll lose your first class seat. I said, well, so how about this? Can I buy the ticket on the 1 o'clock? First class back from Dallas to Tampa. She goes, that's $660. I said, tell you what, I'll buy that. Nope, can't do it. Can't do it because then you'll have a double booking.
Oh, which makes you a terrorist. Exactly.
Right. A double booking. That's right. So I said, well, what would you have me do? Why don't you tell me what to do, brand B? And she said to me, you'll have to wait till you get to Dallas tonight at 7 or 8. Right. And then you got to call us. And then maybe you'll have the seat left. Now, by the way, there's only 2 seats left in first class. Exactly. So by tonight, it'll be gone, and I'm done. Now, you know what she had the audacity to say to me after all this? And I'm obviously frustrated. I was very nice to her. I was polite. Yes. But this is traveling today in the United States. And she said to me, by the way, Mr. Gallagher, as we conclude this call, we have an offer for the Citibank credit card that we'd like to give you 50,000 points. I said, ma'am, I know you're going to take this personally, and I don't mean it to. Yeah. I said, I wouldn't associate with your airline with a credit card if you held a gun to my head and she was, I'm so sorry you feel the way. I said, listen, please forgive me. I don't mean to take it out on you. Yeah. But honestly, isn't it wild? And she did acknowledge in the call, yeah, different airlines sure do things differently. I'm like, one's efficient and one ain't. Yep. It's crazy. Do you think it's because of my level of status with brand A?
I don't think so. I mean, it may be. And since this is our get together for the week, and the next time we chat will be Monday. I know the world will be spinning into oblivion on Monday too.
Yes.
But I watched something happen on our flight back from Albuquerque that I wanted to run by you that involves the privileged, rarefied air status that you enjoy. I want to see if it's happened to you before.
So, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course there, because it never.
But my status on brand B isn't that bad. I'm gold.
Yeah. What are you on? What are you? The platinum grand poobah on the other one? What are you?
I am zirconium.
I am titanium.
I'm titanium.
Oh, Lord.
No, I'm platinum. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I kept apologizing to her because I said, look, I'm frustrated, man, but I know it's not your fault. You don't make the rules.
No.
But why is one airline so different from another? How hard can it be? My gosh. And it's like they do. They punish you. Oh, you're stupid enough. You're low rent enough to use a mileage award? Well, we're going to put you through hell. Unbelievable.
Well, that was a great,
well, anyway,
great 30-second story, Morty.
Like I said, yeah, country's on fire and Mike ain't in first class.
But I mean, really, show today.
What am I? Am I supposed to be on the Mayflower in the cargo hold? For crying out loud. I mean, some fat person with their elbow in my ribs the whole flight? Good gosh. All right. Happy with Thursday. I'm good. Thursday. I'll see you Monday, and thank you for indulging me. And thank you, incidentally. I sent you a note. You've been so great about our clearance in South Carolina this week, and I want to end with this. I decided to share publicly what I said to you in private. May every person have the blessing of a friendship of somebody like you. You've been so, I know the South Carolina clearance on this big station where I started 35 years ago that's a big thing for us, but I'm sure most people don't really care. But you've been so into it and so excited for me. Your enthusiasm is such a joyful spirit for me. And I am so blessed for you and Lisa and Ethan in my life. Thanks for letting me have some fun with this week, and
it's been
and
our
I hope
pleasure.
Everybody has a friend like you because you
are
pretty incredible.
Let me share back what I told Mike. I said it's simple because we love you, and we love what we do, and it's emblematic of the relationship that you have with listeners there, listeners here, listeners everywhere. What you and I do is a blessing. You are a blessing in our lives. So how do we not love it? So.
You're the best.
Safe travels, and I can't wait to hear graduation stories. Love you right back.
Got it.
Have a fantastic weekend. That is Mike Gallagher, and his show today, filled with action, is going to be at 10 as soon as we're done on 660 AM The Answer.